Assalamu alaikum, gentlemen. To the topic of my lecturette is going to be, does strict parenting leads to destruction of the personality of a child or not? So first of all, we need to define what is actually meant by strict parenting and what is actually meant by the destruction of the personality of a child. When we talk about strict parenting basically refers to the imposition of the rules or regulations that the parents put on their children, basically, or the rules or regulations that parents put on children in order for them to live a good and a successful life. That is basically known as strict parenting. Strict parenting also includes obedience, respectfulness, and disciplines. We talk about the other aspect, or when we talk about the destruction of the personality of the child, we know that the strictness of a parent does not lead to the destruction of personality of the child. Rather, immature parenting leads to this. It always leads to the destruction of the personality of the child. We talk about the historical background. As we know, the Pakistan came into being in 1947, and before that, we were actually a part of subcontinent. And subcontinent itself consisted of many religions, included Hindus. It also included Islam, Jewish, and also included the Christians also. So Pakistan developed a very unique style of parenting itself. And in the modern day, we know that Pakistan is one of those countries as compared to Bangladesh and as well as India, which are still holding their own traditional and old cultural values. So this means that this style of parenting is still very common in Pakistan, which includes discipline, obedience, respectfulness to parents and to their elders, as well as their children also. So this is a very sacred part of their culture, as well as their traditions, and as well as their religion. And as we compare the family system of Pakistan, when we compare it with the family system of the West, we have seen the West has produced one of the most weakest and one of the worst family units, because in those family systems, parents give their children empty head, and they always spoon feed their children, and they ultimately give their children what they want. So this creates a very weak and selfish child, and selfish children ultimately create a very weak society. We talk about the points. First of all, my point is that strict parenting is always better than immature parenting because overall development. As we all know, that strict parenting always develops the round personality of the child. It develops the basic moral values. It allows the children to respect others and to respect his children also. And it also develops a sense of responsibility, because responsibility and integrity are the most important qualities that a child can have. And when the children grows up and goes into the practical and the professional life, these qualities will help him. And these are the same qualities which Pakistani parents or the Pakistani parenting culture has consisted of. When we talk about the second most important point is the cultures or tradition. We know that in West, especially, the people do not give their children they actually do not give their children the responsibility. So ultimately, the children forget about their grandparents, and they almost forget about their parents also. So in one of our sense, that we can say that the West has produced families or has produced children who love their dogs and cats more than their parents. So this is the example of the Western family system. And in this way, the traditions and the values are always on the ground. The third most important point when we talk about family system and the strict parenting itself is that strict parenting always gives discipline to the child. Because without discipline, you will never be able to find a job, you will never be able to find a career for yourself, and you will not be able to work as a very effective human being. If you want to function and if you want to have good life and successful life, most of the successful people are actually the ones who had strict parents and who actually imposed regulations and on their children that you have to do this and those children who had a very good routine, who had a very good disciplined life because of their parents, are the ones who are actually now millionaires and are actually those persons who are very rich. For example, Warren Buffett, he's actually a very famous stockholder in the Wall Street in America. And his parents were one of the most strictest parents, but those same parents produced one of the most effective and successful people. In conclusion, I would like to say that Pakistan holds a very unique image of parenting style, and this parenting style has produced one of the most effective leaders in all categories, both men and women. In the end, I would just like to say that parenting is a very important and a very responsible act. So immature parents always produce a weak nation. On the other hand, Pakistan always has such a parenting style which produces strong, hard-boiled children, and these children become a much more powerful nation. Thank you.